Uh-oh. It's not
Yes.
letting me go live. Are we live? Okay, there we
You're
go.
live.
We waited so long deliberating that I got some message that says it looks like your broadcast was deleted. So I got a little scared there. But we are live. So we were initially going to talk about our closing date, but we were actually just chatting in the little studio beforehand. We wanted to talk about something that's kind of in correlation with that. So not necessarily too much about the project, but just some of the stuff that we've learned along the way that we can share with you, so that you can also learn from our journey. That's one of the major focuses of this group is teaching by doing, and then just growing through action and learning together. So one of the things we really wanted to talk about today was just the importance of capital, specifically relationship capital. Not to monetize relationships, but just to show the importance of making sure that you are staying in contact with your Rolodex of, I can't say Rolodex. There's some people that are probably like, we got some Gen Z viewers in there that are like, what's a Rolodex?
It's the name of an app.
Yeah, exactly. You're keeping in contact with your contacts, whether that's your friends, your family, potential investors, maybe by using a CRM or just whatever systems, you have access to or comfortable with. And then just the importance of the overall human connection in terms of relationship capital. Here at Meliorum and with Kennedy Remedy, I'm sure you follow Keisha and you see all the great stuff she's putting out. We're all about just educating the masses and connecting with people. Through those connections, we're able to build these massive webs of just networks of this like awesome, like almost family, because we're so close knit with a lot of people that we interact with. But we have this just awesome web of followers, of investors, of people that are just ready to take down deals with us, advise us, connect with us, and just continue to grow with us. So I think we'll probably lean on Keisha a lot in this conversation, just because she is fantastic when it comes to connecting. She never skips a beat. Sometimes we'll be in our little group chat and I'll be like, hey, have you talked to this person? Keisha's like, yeah, I talked to them like 3 years ago. Like, geez, man, like you beat me to it by 3 years. So she's that person. So yeah, Keisha, if you just want to jump on and kind of talk about some of the things that you do, the importance of staying connected and what that's done for your relationships with your investors over the past, let's say, 6 months to a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I would start off by saying relationship and networking, education, and inspiring. Um, I use my social media platform. If you don't know, my name's Keisha Kennedy. I am always on social media, and I use social media to leverage. And how am I leveraging? I am entertaining, I am inspiring, I am educating, and I am motivating. And so that's the purpose of being on social media. And so that's how I'm generating most of my investors. I don't do any advertising as far as paid advertising. I'm leveraging free advertising, and I'm attracting capital. I wouldn't say I'm raising capital, because I'm attracting potential investors that are coming out, that's reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm interested on what you have, recently posted about investing in apartments, and how can I add value to your team, or can I jump on a call? And so showing up and being consistent every single day does make an impact. And so that's how I'm able to leverage those investors and have them to invest in our deal. But being consistent when on the days that you don't want to post, on the days that you don't feel motivated, but looking at the end goal, not the temporary. Today I'm tired, I'm stressed, but look at the end goal. Where do you want to be at in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? And realize that at least if one person reads your post, that's one person that you are impacting. And so I'm here to impact lives. I'm here to help others to start investing. And so I love social media because it is 2022 and everyone is on there, the millennials, the old generation, everyone is on social media. And so you might not know who you're going to impact. It might be someone's grandchild or grandmother, And I get a lot of referrals as well. So if you're wondering, start posting, educate, inspire, motivate, and just start. And I believe in, continuing to build those relationships over time. You might speak to an investor on a Monday, reconnect with them in another 3 weeks or another month or two. And always ask for a referral at the end of the call. You'd be surprised. So I hope that helped, Toby.
Yeah. That definitely helps. So true story. I was very scared of switching from a BlackBerry to an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I was one of those people like, no one's ever going to use this dumb thing to
There's no buttons.
communicate like that. Yeah, there's no buttons, right? I need textiles. And I was the same way with social media. I was the same way with LinkedIn, all those different platforms that have just, again, like gave us the ability just to connect more and strengthen these webs. So I think it's really brilliant that you're saying that you can use these things to reach people and reach different audiences in different ways. So you mentioned like reaching someone's grandchild, right? Like that may be through TikTok, or there may be a 50-year-old viewer on TikTok. So you've got all these awesome ways to connect, and the barrier of entry is it's literally nothing. Like just grab your cell phone and connect with your audience and watch the magic happen. And I'm preaching to the choir on this one because I'm guilty of not utilizing some of these platforms to connect with people. But they have their place and they work really well to strengthen some of these ties. I think you're about to say something, Aaron. I think you're either going to roast me about my lack of committing to the iPhone.
Well, I have two directions that I could take to roast you on that one, but I'm going to pause that. I wanted to ask Keisha, though, this. Is there a social media channel or a platform more than others that you get most engagement on, or do you think you have to use them all to be able to cover your bases? Or
Yeah, so I really like LinkedIn because it's a lot of professionals, of course, as you know, a B2B type platform. And then second would be Facebook. But I am posting all over. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and I was doing TikTok, but I just couldn't keep up with all of them.
yeah, and do you use them every day, or do you have a goal for throughout the week? Or
Yeah, good question, Aaron. I post Monday through Friday. Initially, I was posting 7 days a week, but now I'm Monday through Friday. And I try to post early in the morning. Most successful people and entrepreneurs and people that would like to invest are up in the morning. They have their morning routine. And so that's the best time to catch someone that's going to read your post because a lot of people will log on then versus in the afternoon.
That's good. So this is strategic on your part. So are you actually like even taking it down to a granular level? Are you even time blocking for this? Like,
Yes.
is it like from these hours to these hours, I'm on these different platforms and I'm looking to accomplish these KPIs?
So I'm basically copy and pasting. I don't schedule my post out on third party websites. I'm just basically copy and pasting. So once I post on LinkedIn, it goes straight to Facebook, then it goes to Instagram, and etc. As far as my KPIs, I do see that they are increasing when it comes to followers and connections and people reaching out to me. And so as long as I'm getting potential investors to book a call with me and I'm sparking interest and they're referring me to other potential investors, I know that the sweat equity that I'm putting in, Toby, is definitely working.
Nice.
Mhm.
And this is it's definitely a no-brainer, but I just want to reiterate that because I know it's going to mean something to somebody. So these referrals, would you say that they're probably easier to talk to than maybe like a cold, intake lead that comes in? Somebody just messages you, that someone's already got a relationship built with you, and then they say, "Hey, I know Keisha. She is the real deal. You've got to talk to her." Because we've been seeing that a lot in the last few months, right? Like we've just had this recent influx of just these referrals, and we're just like, wow, a friend of a friend, which is basically a friend to us. And they've already, done all the hard work. They've said, hey, they're great individuals. They do what they say. They mean what they say, right? They've got all the things that you would want in an operator and all the elements that you would want to invest in. And then we just get on the call and, like I was saying earlier to Aaron, it's just like a Neanderthal running around in my head with a club. You know, they're just like, yeah, you're great. You know, things add up there. So, what's your take on that, Keisha?
Yes, absolutely. I agree that referrals are the easiest. I'll be honest, because the person that referred you has already built you up, has already spoke about your reputation, your integrity, your values, and about the team. One in particular last week reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to invest in your deal." And I didn't even have to say much. I just got on the phone, told him a little bit about myself, and he was like, "Okay, I'm in. I've already checked you out through another person, and they believe in you, they believe in your team, and I want to partner up with you." And so I truly believe in the power of networking, and always ask for referrals at the end of the call, because if they might not be ready to pull the trigger and invest, but I'm sure they know at least one person that they can introduce you to.
That's great. Now, Bien, how many calls do you think you jump on every single week in terms of just networking? And I mean, whether that's talking to potential investors, referrals, vendors, whatever. I mean, how often are you just jumping on the horn and having these Zoom conversations, these over the phones and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as for me, guys, I do a lot of like operation, and I support our entire team here. So I do talk to a lot of vendors, like lender, broker, insurance broker, you name it. I would say like probably, I don't know, like on a
It's a
phone
lot
a lot,
by any
but
standard.
probably three, 4 times a day. And then also like supporting Keisha too. Keisha is our main investor relations. She's talked to a lot of different investors. I'm like her right-handed person. Whenever she needs me, I'm here. And
But
then
you're
also
actually you're left-handed though, right?
I'm left-handed. I'm actually ambidextrous. I write with my right hand. Yeah, yeah, but I do write with my right hand, and everything else left-handed.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, but yes, the relationships. It's just not about investors. It's not about just investors. It's everything.
That's true.
Everyone that you deal with. The seller, the broker, the lender, even contractors, right? Yeah, so you have to maintain a relationship with everybody. And I think Keisha pointed out there, consistency is the key, right?
Mhm.
She educates people every day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week in the morning. So if you want to get that results, you got to maintain that consistency. Yeah.
100%. 100%. And I mean, multifamily is such a small circle in general that word travels fast throughout all of the different webs and circles. So, if you're not communicating with your vendors, if you're not communicating with your investors, on a deal, if you're not communicating with your lenders, I would imagine people do that, pretty often. They just kind of keep people out of the loop because they've got their heads in the sand and they're just trying to make it happen. But it's so important, even when things are just kind of getting a little tough or cumbersome, that you just emerge for a little bit, right, and just send out that friendly text like, "Hey, things are still working, things are still moving, we're still thinking about you," and just being consistent in every respect. And then obviously, like Keisha said, just connecting with people on different levels. So I'm curious, Keisha, with some of your content, is it just like you jump on these calls and it's just like straight to business, or are you operating under like the Ford acronym, family, occupation, recreation, and whatever? I forgot what the D stands for. Destiny, something like that. Because I say that because, like, to the average viewer, this stuff is just daunting. Like, most people, despite the fact that we have so many different ways to connect in this day and age, most people just don't want to. They'd rather be a basement introvert and just kind of hope that these things happen to them without having to do the things like that. So I feel like we have to kind of break a lot of the stuff down so that, to the average listener out there, they can really have some action items and feel like that's something that they can actually do themselves.
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Did I freeze?
No, you're good.
Okay. I was going to do
Okay.
my free
Yeah, we hear you, Keisha.
I can hear you now. You were going through the matrix. I heard the beginning, so I'm going to answer the question. The internet is not that stable here sometimes.
Okay.
But to answer your question, when I get on the phone call, before, I'll be honest, I used to have a script when I first started out. Like,
Sure.
everyone else has a script, but
Yeah.
now I'm more just natural with it. I always ask, what was the purpose of the call, to make sure that we are on the same path. And they'll tell me, and I'll ask them, have they invested before? And they'll say yes or no. So I'll know which direction to take the call. But basically, I'm just trying to get to know them, because this is a two-way relationship.
Yes.
They're trying to get to learn me, and I'm trying to get to learn them, and to see if I even want to partner with them in a deal, because not every investor is created equal, and I don't want just any investor in on our deal, right? And so just getting to know them on the first call. It's not always about the sell or attracting the capital on the first call. It's just really building that relationship, building that foundation, seeing what type of family they came from, seeing what type of if they've ever invested, and just getting to genuinely know that person first and foremost, and then do enough follow-up call, but not just trying to sell them on the deal that you may have now or in the future on the first call. I don't think that is a good way to build transparency in a relationship.
Sure.
You're not going to be able to go through everything as being a limited partner on your first call, because a lot of people have never heard of apartment syndication. So it takes a lot of education when you have new investors in on your deal. It takes a lot of patience.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Keisha, are you always looking to cultivate new investors and far in advance of actually having a deal, or do you have a deal and then go try and find people that might be interested in that and getting involved?
Good question. I cultivate those relationships in advance, so you can continue to do those follow-up calls and continue to reach out and build that relationship over time. Not when you have a deal, say, "Hey, remember me? I have a deal." No, you should always, investor relations. You're always speaking
Relating.
exactly. You're always on a call. You're always networking, which is why I'm continuing to educate, motivate, inspire people on my social media platforms, right? And so I'm always on a phone call. I'm always in a meeting. And each time I get on a call, I'm not looking at it as, oh, they are going to invest. If they invest, they invest. If not, in the future, they'll be ready to invest. Don't go into the call as if, hey, they are going to invest. If they invest, fine. If not, then it is okay. It might not be the time, or it might not be the deal for them to invest.
That's great. That's great. And I love just the whole one-to-many approach with the podcast and, the webinars and things like that. I know for me personally, before, we even connected, I felt like I knew you because I had already consumed so much of your content out there. So that barrier of that relationship barrier was just already eliminated, because it's oh, I know a lot about Keisha. I've heard her tell her story several times and things like that. So you can't really, for lack of a better word, you can't sleep on the fact that there's so much opportunity to connect with people. You can have a voice, whether it's just from, using a blog, if you're the basement introvert that just wants to, stay hidden, foster up a pen name and get out there and connect with people through blogs or something. But breaking that barrier like you do from conception, and just having that those different mediums to connect to people, it's just awesome that you're doing that. And I think that it's inspiring for a lot of people out there that are listening. They can do it as well. And like I mentioned, it doesn't have to be something extravagant like all these other platforms. You just got to get started and get connected. I think that's a pretty common theme through this conversation is get started and stay connected.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
All right. I feel like that's any more information, and we got to charge for this stuff. We're going to be selling you guys a course at that point.
Exactly.
So yeah, does anybody else have any closing remarks? Aaron,
No,
I'll go ahead, Vian.
No, I would just say, just to summarize up, you guys, I would say if you want to do something, I mean, I want to point out, like, just discipline yourself, be persistent and and consistent in everything you do, then you will see the results. That's pretty true in everything that you want to do. So
I love it. It's book worthy. Aaron, you want to send us off? Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'll say one other thing, that the more we have these discussions on this platform, it reminds me just the value of team. And I know how cliche that is at this point, but you talk about the deep dive that Keisha does into the capital raising aspect of it. I mean, it sounds like it's a full-time gig, and it largely is, right? There are multiple full-time roles on these teams, and no one should ever think that you're going to do it all. There's no single person to do that all. It's not made to be like that.
Yeah.
It is surrounding yourself with that team of quality people you trust as early as you can. And it's probably the smartest, one of the best, maybe the smartest step you could take. If not, it's close. It's close.
100%. All right. I'm dropping the mic on that one.
yeah.
That's great. Well, as always, reach out to us, connect with us. If there's anything we can do to help propel you, or if you're ever interested in hearing about our deals, we're always open to chat. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We're going to try to be a little more consistent. We're going to be closing out this one pretty soon, so we'll share the details on that. Obviously, we are beyond ecstatic to get this big deal across the finish line, but we'll have some just some insight to share, and we're always looking forward to connecting with you guys.
Yes. Drum roll on that one. Closing soon.
All right. All right. Well, be good. We'll see you
All right.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
So,
Bye, guys.
bye.